Okay, we are live.
All right. Hello, Sean.
What's up?
Do you know what time it is?
I have no idea.
It's time for another tech update. Doesn't matter what time it is. All right. Let's start off with smart contracts.
Yeah. So smart contracts are complete, ready for testing. I have this on my development branch locally. The only reason I haven't pushed it to GitHub is because we have this memory hard algorithm that's also pending. So I'm waiting to sort that piece out. Once we get the memory hard algorithm complete, then I'll push out this. I'll hook up and push out the smart contracts to testnet so that we can start testing that as well. But essentially done. All the opcodes that I had listed are done. And looks like it's working okay. There's going to be a lot of testing. We'll have to test for probably a couple months on that because it's really, really complicated. Definitely increases the attack surface for exploits or any kind of denial of service, those kinds of things. So we'll have to do a ton of testing on that. But,
so this is the whole virtual machine.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Custom virtual machine.
What did you get as far as a compiler for it? Nothing special.
No,
okay.
I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any CPU of like reasonable complexity that I would be able to migrate a 256-bit architecture to, right? Like even x86, right? It's only 32 or maybe 64 with ARM or whatever, but there's no 256-bit CPU, which you need in order to be able to manipulate the addresses. So that was, there was really nothing that I could find that made any sense where I would have had to hack the compiler anyway. So at this point, we're going to be stuck with machine code. I probably will write an assembler, but right now I'm just hand assembling the machine code, which is obviously extremely clunky. We'll have to get around that, but once we prove that the smart contract works, I mean, look, the main thing we're going to use it for is the proof of stake, to create a contract where people can stake and get part of the rewards. So, initially, of course, right. So achieving that as a first goal using this way, it lets us do it in a decentralized way.
Yeah,
I think that's good enough. And then, when somebody wants to build a DAO or somebody wants to create. I mean, this will allow people to create tokens. So if you want to have, your own Dogecoin on Dynamo or whatever, right? We could do those kinds of things. When we get to that level where people actually are using it for that sort of use case, then we can start to talk about having a compiler. My sense is I'm not sure that we'll get there, this year, even frankly, because there's so many other chains out there that have EVM compatible virtual machines that nobody builds tokens on those chains. So been popular, right? Cardano, Solana, whatever, right? Like you don't really hear about that. So I think Ethereum kind of owns that space right now. So
crypto kitties.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna build that on anything except Ethereum.
All right. So this ties into a little bit into the work on the memory hard algo. We need to kind of still get that done, I think, first, right? Yep.
So So I was able to, what I thought, get an algorithm that had good parity, based on some scant feedback from the community. The numbers that I'm getting on my 6700, well, there was a 6800. I don't have I have a 67 or 69. The 6800 was getting like twice what the 3070 was getting. So that's kind of not right. So it seems like we're still not there. My testing was the 6700 was 2.5 times slower than the 3070, which also was not quite right, because if you look at the prices of those things, it's not 2.5 times cheaper. So it's a little bit of a moving target right now, but so that I think it's going to take a little bit more time to figure out why my testing is not coming in the same as theirs. And I have a little bit of a complexity that I have to build a separate rig to host the AMD machines, because my main development rig doesn't allow for AMD and NVIDIA together for some reason. So I have to replicate my whole development environment over there, which is a big pain. So
Yeah,
I do actually, I set it up today. I set up the second computer, and I'm gonna move it over tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to play nicely on the same machine, do they?
It doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's talk about, I guess, proof of stake, which there really isn't anything new there. We're just literally waiting on having that vote, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess in the vote will be not only the percentage, but things like the tiers, right? So we'll have to have, what's the minimum amount that you can stake? What's the minimum time frame you can stake? Those kinds of things. So, yeah, we're gonna have to figure those things out too. So I'll put some kind of proposal out. Maybe we'll collect some community feedback from the people who are more vocal, and then see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Then let's move on. Do you want to go to Isle of Trials next, or do you want to save that, since I think you're going to be doing a little screen sharing for that one?
Yeah, we can put that at the end. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's go and talk about the Metaverse.
Yep. So had a 2-hour conversation with Russell and his partner today. They had a bunch of feedback from the GDC. It was pretty good. They have a bunch of ideas. They have a bunch of people they're going to pitch to. So still in the business development stage. I think I'm kind of letting them run with it right now. My focus is more on the technology side, rather than doing biz dev on that particular thing. And look, there's a lot of metaverses out there now too, with a lot of big names behind it. So I think we need to find our niche in this. There's just tons of money pouring into this space, so it's hard to get your voice heard, I think. Yeah. So this is gonna be based on relationships. They're gonna find somebody who knows them, that trusts them, that says, "Hey, let's build a metaverse," and then we'll build it that way. So I think that's kind of my plan for that right now. But we did hire a person to work on it. They spent 40 or 50 hours improving everything that we had, creating a wallet, creating a whole bunch of like transactional stuff where you could tip a guy who's playing a guitar, or buy one of the NFTs in the Total Mayhem store off the rack, those kinds of things. So the workflows are there, but
partnerships in that I think are obviously going to be key.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's move on to the NFT comedy game show.
Yeah. So I got a demo from the guy that I had contacted, Nick. It's really funny, actually. I love what he did with it. I posted that in our Discord too, so people can see. It's a little 5-minute skit of him asking the audience these kind of funny questions, and then people yelling out answers. And the concept is, of course, that there would be a web-based or some kind of mobile app or whatever. Again, you're going to have to buy an NFT to participate. If you get the right answer, you move to the next round. There's 10 to 12 rounds. Whoever's in the last round shares the prize pot, probably paid in crypto. So all of that looks good in his demo. I liked what it did. We had a conversation with our friend who's formerly on Saturday Night Live. He still doesn't understand the idea, I think, and so we're gonna set up a call, a more substantive call next week to actually go through the detail, review the video, talk about the business opportunity. One of the things that's interesting was he noted that there's a lot of reputational risk with crypto, particularly with performers. And the example that he used was this Matt Damon. And he said, Matt Damon was involved with a scam coin. And I said, I don't think that's necessarily true. And so after the debrief call that we had, I went and looked up and I said, no, Matt Damon did this like really horrible, kitschy kind of commercial for crypto.com. And it was, universally derided as just very, I don't know, like ham-handed and kind of, just kind of stupid. But it wasn't a scam, right? It was just like a really horrible commercial, right? It was comparing investing in crypto in same as like, climbing Mount Everest or the Wright brothers, building their first plane, right? Like it was like this kind of silly thing. It was just a stupid commercial. But that translated to him as, celebrities being associated with crypto results in them having negative outcomes of their reputation. And so, you got to talk people back from the ledge a little bit. It's an interesting thing that we're all in the crypto space fighting,
right?
Is this concept that everything's a scam. So
does Nick already have a, man, it looked like there was lightning outside your window.
There is. There's actually a tornado warning. So I may lose you.
It's real effects you have there.
Yeah.
So does Nick currently have a live broadcast show, or is he just doing stuff more live in person but not broadcast?
He's not currently broadcasting. He promotes. I think it's almost a weekly show where he actually leases out the whole venue, arranges for the camera people and the sound people. He records it. He posts it on YouTube. He produces the whole show himself, pays for the whole thing, and then is building his brand that way, which I think is wonderful. Yeah.
So he has a distributed show, just not live.
It's not live broadcast, right? So yeah. I think he seemed very interested in partnering with us and doing this. So whatever happens, I think we may end up doing something with Nick anyway. So.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think you've got a couple things that have been going on with Total Mayhem. What's going on there?
Yep. So we have been. I have been working on it in the background in the Unreal Engine, and it's going okay. But of course, I'm just getting spread too thin. So actually, we identified a resource last week that we can actually hire to work on this thing, like hopefully full time. The guy's a little bit busy. He's got his own game that he's working on, and what we're going to try to do, he's looking for funding for the game, and so we're going to try to convince him to use crypto as a way to fund his own game. But in the meantime, we're going to be hiring him part-time to work on this. So we will have a dedicated part-time resource working on Total Mayhem. We're waiting for May 10th. It'll be definitely ready in terms of a proof of concept demo. We have the NFTs, like we talked about last week. We have the NFTs minted. We're ready. We're ready to go on all that stuff. So it's just a matter of.
Can you say what parts he's working on? Is he like an animator or what is?
He's an engineer. So he's actually doing like the programming in the blueprints or C++. So he'll be working on the actual core gameplay.
Okay.
We have really all of the assets, all of the UI assets and the animations and all that stuff is all done. There's really no artwork that's left. It's just pulling it all together into a game loop. So
this really is the bulk of what's left. Is just the core of it. The core of
being able to select your character, drag it onto another character, play the animation correctly in plays, show that it's hit, take off hit points, all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well then, I think that brings us to Isle of Trials. What do you want to show us?
Cool. Okay, so this is a let me see, where's my share screen here? This is me kind of coming full circle on a few different ideas. I'm going to move the video over so that I can share this. Okay. So I originally was working on a 2D MMO, which was leveraging the technology that I had found in this JavaScript library. Unfortunately, the JavaScript library didn't really work out. I love, though, that it was so easy to develop something in that, and I wanted to try to emulate the same kind of thing in 3D instead. So I said, let me just reboot the Isle of Trials idea. I have the server completely written. I have the database built. I have all the grammar built from the 2D MMO. And so I said, let me just port this over. It's really not that much more work. So the thing that changed my mind was I found some, you can see here, one of the hardest things about building an MMO in particular is your hero character. You know, you need to have all of these different variations of things, right? So that people have the ability to customize their character. And that was one of the things I was struggling with in the original version, because it's hard to use Daz or Character Creator, one of these others, to create high poly ones. But there's a library that I found, which has, this is just a subset of it, but you can see there's like all these torsos, all these hairstyles, all different kinds of arm styles, all kinds of different beards. So there's a segmented character that I've created, which I'm gonna bring up here. And so you can see all these different pieces. So there's like the head, the hair, the arms, right? All these pieces all nicely coordinate together, okay. So that you can swap any one of the heads. And so there's, you know, female and male heads, and you can see there's female head 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? All these different heads all perfectly fit, despite being different in appearance. And so you can customize your character, right? That library in itself enabled me to like really rapidly create the ability to customize different characters. And so leveraging the server and the database that I had and all the network grammar that I had, I created this over the last about 3 days or so. The other thing is I found this really wonderful preset model, which has, you know, like a really pretty sizable kind of cool city in it, which I thought was, you know, and it's got this nice stylized look to it. It's not, you know, super high res stuff. So the performance is good. So I'm going to use this as kind of like the home base. And then again, I can just extend out all the areas and build other player houses. It came with a whole bunch of models that are all specific. So I have like, let's see. There's all these like these other models that are pre-made, right? So if we're going to try to sell player housing, we have these kinds of models. There's, I don't know, 25 different ones here, and I can customize them if I want to. It's easy. So so it's really drag and drop in terms of being able to create a world. And so I've already set up, I don't know if you can, how the video is here, but I've set up a little guy, and you can walk through. And so this will be the, you know, the player experience, but it'll be your customized character. I've created already all of the lobby stuff. So there's an account creation menu. So the first time you start it up, you put in a password. It creates a Dynamo wallet for you, which is stored locally on your own computer, secured by your password. And then you have the ability to create a character. So in here, I have this character creation tool. Oh, whoops. Sorry, rotate it. And this allows you to do the customization. So I have all these, the face styles, the hairstyles. You can see I only have like 4 put here, but you can see it's different. Hair colors, right? You can, right? So all these different, all the typical things that you expect to be able to do when you want to customize a character. So you can customize your character. It's saved in the database, and then your appearance will be like that in the world. And then I have a separate level, you know, that has like this is kind of like the select your character to play. And so there'll be like 5 character slots here. If you click on one of these, it brings you to create the character. When you create the character, then there'll be like a little guy standing here. You select him and go and enter the world. All of that is all going to be linked to the wallet. All the code for creating the wallet's all done. Tying it in, all that stuff is all done. So at this point, I'm working on the multiplayer aspect of replicating the positions of the characters in the world, saving it out to the database, and then loading and saving it as you enter and exit the world. So it's coming along quite nicely. I mean, this is like since Tuesday, roughly. All of what I just showed you since is like I've built from since Tuesday. So
yeah, and it looks like there's just a huge number of different character possible combinations already with that library you've got. Okay.
Yeah, that was a real, just a great find. I didn't know that such a thing, you know, I like just got frustrated with the 2D engine and said, you know, we gotta just work back on wild trials. So yeah.
Full circle. Okay.
Yeah. But I think this time is, you know, I've got so many of the pieces built already that it's not like I'm inventing stuff from scratch anymore. So I'm really I'm able to reuse so many of the pieces that I've already built. So it's going really
great.
fast.
Well, I look forward to getting in there and mucking around a bit.
Yep, it'll be cool. Yeah, I'll post it up on niche.io. I'll post up some binaries once it's complete. I have the server already provisioned. I'm going to use the same server that we used for the 2D MMO. So that's all the hardware already built, all the infrastructure set. It's just deployment.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, since we didn't, it's my fault we were late today. Since I was late, we didn't have a pre-notice about the show, so I don't think we have many comments, which is fine. But we pretty much exhausted our list for today. So unless you've got anything else you can think of, I think we're about done.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking of is you know, I need to do some instructional videos. I've been holding off on the mining in particular just because, you know, we may be switching. But one of the things I'm doing is cleaning up the GitHub. So one of the community members had alerted me to this feature of GitHub where you can associate a binary file with a release. And so I'm using that feature now to tag releases so that there won't be like two different GitHub repositories. You just go to one and you can click on the releases and it finds the binary for you that's current.
Great.
So,
yep.
Start doing that. But we got to clean up. You know, but there's like 4 different minor repositories and stuff. So it's a little bit hard for new people. So
yeah,
that's what we just clean up.
Right. Well, I understand things are still up in the air until we get the memory hard algo done, but it doesn't sound far off now.
No.
As far as cleaning up, having one simple thing to do and make a how-to video for. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I think then if that's it, so long and farewell, everyone.
Cool.
More fun tomorrow.
Yep. All right. See ya.
Be well.